Morning. Check the lights. Today is Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Taiji Sword. Sort of. Excuse me. Alright, so you see my arm over here. Yeah, hey, this one. Hi. Alright, this is not my sword arm, so we have class today. I went and got my booster shot yesterday, and my shoulder is sore. It does not want to move. It would prefer to just stay right where it is and not go anywhere. Everything from the elbow down is fine, right? It's just the soreness at the injection site, which was expected. So this arm's not moving very much today. I'll call out a couple of things as we go through the bit of practice that we're going to do today, so that you will understand that what I'm doing today with my left arm is not what should be done. Alright, this is me compensating for soreness. And I'm going to talk about that for a second as I get my sword. So, this idea that I've got one part of my body that has decided it's not going to work today. This shoulder. That's it. That's the only part. Okay? So, now, don't want to do this. I asked. And this is, okay, so this is a skill, something to pay attention to. The idea that we're going to take inventory, if you will, that we're going to say, you know, this part of my body is fine, this part hurts, this part's doing what, and my stomach's upset today. It's not, but yeah, there have been days. I have a sore ankle today. I don't, but I have a sore shoulder. Alright, so whatever it is, say, alright, no, I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit around and not do anything. Sometimes that's a good decision. Not always for me, right? So, as I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do this morning? I can't do this, I can't do that. And yeah, I told you, everything from the elbow down is fine. What am I going to do, right? And I decided that I'm going to keep this arm more or less not moving, right? Everything from the elbow up isn't moving. Alright? And that doesn't make that much difference. Some, but it doesn't make that much difference for today's lesson. Now, if I had actually injured my right arm, that would make a difference for today's lesson. Alright, so this idea, this is if you practice for a few weeks, a few months, these issues don't ever come up. Or they're a little bit, okay? They don't. When you practice for a few years, you start to see how certain things come up and how to deal with them so that you keep practicing. Right? If the goal is to keep practicing, what am I going to do to manage that? How am I going to deal with that? Right? This arm stays where it is and this arm moves. I'm good. Paying attention to that, and apologies for pointing with the sword, I shouldn't do that. paying attention to what you can do, right? What can I do today? I can't do this, so I'm not going to practice at all. Well, yeah, okay. So no. Not if you want to practice to that not entirely mythical higher level, right? The practice that we learn how to do over weeks and months is not the same as the practice that we learn how to do over 40 years. Alright, so this is the long range tip over here. If you're going to keep going, well, you have to keep going and figure out how to do that. And you have to do it in such a way that you give yourself, not allow yourself, actually give yourself the opportunity to do well whatever it is you're doing. Okay? So I'm going to give myself the opportunity. I know that my arm would hurt a lot if I use it. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. It would hurt. I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to. Alright? Everything else is working pretty good today. So everything else gets to work. This arm stays. I'm going to pay attention to just the piece that we've been working on. And yeah, I moved my nose down to where I could scratch it. Yes, I did. Alright. So, keeping in mind that my left hand position is not correct. Okay, left hand position is not correct. Right hand position and sword, both legs, everything else is good. Alright, so as we were finishing this last set, last one just before we back up, right? So we hook down, up, down, around, to back, behind, set, out. Okay? And yeah, my ankle wasn't quite right. We're going to do it again. We're going to just this part. And then I'm going to show and we're going to work on the next piece, and we're still going backward. Interesting. Alright, never mind. I'm feeling a little funny. No doubt. I slept a lot yesterday. After I got back, I went to sleep pretty much. Alright, and one, right hand come down. My left hand is a little bit lower than what it should be, but it's more or less, it should be up at my shoulder. 1, 2, 3, step through. Turn 1, turn 2, down, down, out, out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? The difference here, couple of things as we're moving. I'm trying to calculate in my head how much space I have here. Camera and room space to go in this direction so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright. 1, 2, up, down, out. Now, light fixture up there. Come around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. That's next. Okay, and this arm does go up. As this arm goes down, this other arm goes up. Pay attention, we're going to do this again, and as we have straight down, 2, 3, and slice to go in, okay? So, down, this is all down with the blade, okay? And out. Turn it, slice across, other side, come in and out. Alright, let's try this whole series. And ready? 1, 2, up. 1, 2, down, down. Slice, slice, and find out. Alright, the software's telling me there's something wrong and now it's all fixed. He could have just not told me anything. Man, you fix that wrong. Alright, anyway, as we step back, alright, I'm here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here. Down, down, down. Across, across, down. Okay? One more time. Left foot front. Hook. 1, 2. Up. Down. And come around. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I just did something that bothers me. Alright. Well, I just gave that wrong. Let's do the correction. Alright, as I step forward, right, that's all good. Let me go here. Alright, so this is fine. My left hand is not fine. Here, come around, take out the light fixture, up, here. Come around 1, in, down, out. Slice, slice, down, out. Slice. And yeah, you want to pick your foot up there because the idea is that this downward motion is blocking something that you don't really want on your leg. Okay? Yeah. Technical difficulties? I don't know. Alright, let's do this one more time with the idea that as we come around, I'm going to come around here, 1, 2, tip of the sword, go in and down, down, out. Turn, slice, right? We're still going backwards, slice, slice, center, out. This series, I'm going really slow with it, right? as we move through our sword form, we should be paying attention to not only the dynamic of the form, what are we doing in the form? This is a Tai Chi form, alright? So there are some things that we should pay attention to that belong to anything that belongs to Tai Chi, right? As we're moving, that sense of flow and ebb, right? Come back and we go out, and this Tai Chi movement, right? There's also the idea that we have the tip and the edges, two of them, to work with, right? And this extension is longer than my arm. Alright, so as we're paying attention to what the sword is doing, we also need to be paying attention to how the body is moving and how we're turning. Alright, so I'll give you an example. And at the beginning here, wait a minute. Okay. Hair in my eye. Sorry. 1, 2, up. Right? Turn. Right? The sword needs to follow the turn through the tip of the sword. So extend through the tip, pay attention to the end as you go up. As we come around here, the same idea, we want to pay attention to the tip of the sword. So I come up here, tip of the sword, down through the blade, out through the tip. Alright, slice across this part of the blade. Right in here. So I'm going to use the whole blade, but my focus is the end of the blade out here. Here, turn, come back again, center, and out. Waist. We practice this figure eight kind of thing at the very beginning when I was introducing basic sword methods, right? What are we paying attention to? We're paying attention to the tip of the blade. What are we paying attention to? Edge of the blade. What are we paying attention to? Edge of the blade. What are we paying attention to? Tip of the blade. What motion goes with each move? So the idea that I'm going to do something like this with the intent to slice ain't going to happen. Okay? It's not. It's the wrong it's the wrong move. Okay? And as we notice slice, we also need to pay attention to that slice is one of the 8 directions. It's angular directions, not cardinal directions, that make up together with the 5 elements, the 13 postures of Tai Chi. So, Sai is something that we most assuredly want to pay attention to in Tai Chi practice. As we extend that through the sword, right? I've got the blade up and down. I can go like this. I could tap something. I could. Not terribly effective use of this particular implement. Right? But I'm not saying you couldn't. Just the idea that you would intentionally want to use the flat of the blade rather than the edge of the blade, doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I use a short stick. I mean, if you want to go with the flat, then short stick. But for something that has an edge on it, you want to pay attention to the edge. Really, you do. Alright, so let's do this one more time. Pay attention to the tip of the blade, pay attention to the end of the blade, pay attention to how this turns. And as we turn down at the beginning, hook down, and as we're turning around to go back, pay attention to the tip of the blade. I'm going to say something about that because it needs to be said. I should never wag the sword. It shouldn't happen. I have a habit. I talk with my hands. And that I had something in my hand and no, that shouldn't happen. If I need to talk with this hand can hold the sword. Alright, yeah. And that's just anybody and everybody. Don't do that. Don't do that. Alright. Down. Remember that tip that I was just talking about? Tip. Up. Down. Turn. Two. Tip of the blade, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. As we move backwards, pay attention to keeping straight. Pay attention to, we're going to close for today. Pay attention to keeping straight. Pay attention to the idea that even though I'm moving in this direction, I need to be able to extend my energy. I need to be able to extend, in this case, the sword. Go this way. We have this idea in Wudang Taiji in Return the Tiger to the Mountain. We also have it in Push Back the Monkey. So, and this arm ain't going up. I started to, and then it was like, not happening. Push Back the Monkey here. And so, this idea that we're moving in one direction, we're extending in the other direction, requires to be centered. Sink into the legs as you step back so that you're ready to move in the other direction. Okay? We'll work on this more. I've got a couple more classes still, right? We're going to work on this some more. And this will get better. All right? And I'll talk a little bit more about this idea of using, because in fact we are, using the energy of going backward to go forward. I hope you'll be here tomorrow. I hope my arm will be better tomorrow. We have the basic Qigong classes, fundamentals. There are some things that, depending on how this is, I may not do. But we will have class. We will have class. And I will look at, if depending on what this is, how this is. I will look at some additional instruction for Qigong practice for healing. Okay, that would, this is a fundamental reaction, there ain't nothing to it, oh well. There was a needle stuck in my arm, and a vaccine injected. My arm's sore. Alright, that's normal. How I address that in Qigong practice. It's a little bit different than what I'm doing here today, with just sticking my arm here and not using it. All right, so, and I just had to scratch my nose, sorry. So, tomorrow, I'll try. The solution is down here, arms not going up. I appreciate you being here, thank you so much. I'll be better tomorrow.